Welcome to the AI checkpoints. In this just rapidly evolving world of artificial intelligence, it really feels like every single day there's some new tool promising to change the game.
Right.
We're all trying to keep up, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
But what if there was an AI that wasn't just, another flashy promise, but maybe a genuine revolution for how you actually code? Today, we're going to try and cut through some of that hype and really unpack Claude Code. That's Anthropic's next-gen AI agent, and it's making some serious waves. People are calling it the developer's ultimate terminal co-pilot. So we're going to dive deep into exactly what it is, how it works, and maybe most importantly, how you can actually leverage it to supercharge your productivity, maybe even enjoy coding a bit more.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Think of this as your shortcut, sort of, to understanding a tool that could fundamentally reshape how you approach development day to day.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how Claude Code really sets itself apart. It's not just another code completion thing suggesting a few lines here and there.
Right.
It's built on a genuinely agentic foundation, which basically means it can tackle entire features, it can fix complex bugs, navigate your code base almost like a seasoned pro would. It acts autonomously based on your instruction.
Autonomously.
Yeah. And we've pulled key insights directly from Anthropic's own experts, folks like Boris, who created Claude Code, and Cal, a core contributor. They've shared a lot on their YouTube channel. We also looked at how it integrates with monitoring tools like LangSmith, drawing from discussions on the LangChain YouTube channel too. So our mission today is really just to distill those insights, give you the actionable intelligence you need to understand, and maybe even master this pretty powerful agent.
All right, let's do it. Let's unpack this and see how Claude Code could become your new favorite coding partner. So when we talk AI assistance for coding, most developers think autocomplete, maybe some quick bug fix suggestions, but you mentioned agentic. What does that actually mean for Claude Code? Is it just a fancier autocomplete, or is it something else entirely?
That's a really important question, actually. It gets to the heart of how we define these tools. Boris, Claude Code's creator, explained this well in Anthropic's discussions. He said past generations, they focused on completing maybe a line or a few lines of code. Claude Code, though, he calls it fully agentic. And that's not just marketing speak. It means it's designed to go way beyond simple suggestions. It can actually build entire features, write whole functions, whole files, fix entire bugs.
Wow.
Think of it less like a helpful spell checker flagging a typo.
Yeah.
And more like a dedicated, highly skilled coworker, one that can operate on its own based on your high-level instructions, making decisions as it goes.
That's a huge distinction. So it's really acting like a coworker, not just the static tool you constantly have to poke and prod.
Exactly.
Cal from Anthropic's team, he described it on their YouTube channel as that coworker that does everything on the terminal, like a whiz mentor figure.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
He even compared it to having Tony, apparently his old mentor, right next to you all the time, handling all those tricky bash commands or Vim edits. So what's the scope here? When you say entire features, can it really build something new from scratch, or does it still need a lot of, hand-holding?
Well, it definitely aims for that broader scope. Its core philosophy, as they put it, is really simple. Do the simple thing that works. And at the heart, it's basically just some instructions, some powerful tools, and you let the model just run in a loop until it decides it's done.
And let it run, yeah.
Yeah. What's really key here is that it works seamlessly with all your existing tools and environments, whether you love VS Code or you're an Xcode, JetBrains, maybe you're a Vim or Emacs purist. Working locally, remotely via SSH, even inside a TMUX session, Claude Code just integrates. It doesn't force you to change your workflow.
That's amazing.
It really is general purpose, adapting to your setup, the tools you already know and use.
That flexibility is incredible. As a developer, I'm always bouncing between different setups. But what about understanding the actual code base? That's the tricky part, right? We often hear about AI needing to index everything, create embeddings, maybe send your code off to the cloud. How does Claude Code get smart about a project without doing all that?
Right, and that takes us to a really key design choice, something that makes it quite different. You might expect, that a coding agent would index the whole code base, embed it, do some fancy RA, retrieval augmented generation to get context.
The usual approach.
But, as Cal explains it on Anthropic's channel, that is explicitly not how Claude Code works. They don't do any indexing.
No indexing at all.
None. Instead, it explores and understands the code base, how you, if you were new to a team and new to a code base, would explore a code base. It uses something they call agentic search.
Okay, agentic search. Let's unpack that a bit. What does that actually look like in practice? What's it doing behind the scenes when I ask it to fix a bug?
It means Claude Code is literally using the same kinds of search tools you or I would use manually, right there in your terminal.
Like,
Well, things like glob for finding files based on patterns, grep for searching text within files, and find for locating files. Standard stuff.
okay.
So it works its way through a code base by doing some searches, looking at the results, deciding, do I need more info? Maybe doing more searching, all in this continuous loop. This approach, crucially, keeps your code local, which is a huge win for security and privacy.
Definitely.
And it also means there's basically zero setup time. You can just start using it immediately. Boris highlighted that no waiting for some massive index to build.
So just to be clear, it's not uploading my code to Anthropic. It's not training its models on my proprietary work.
Exactly.
That is massive. That's a huge barrier removed for so many developers and companies, especially anyone working with sensitive IP. That alone could be a game changer for enterprise adoption.
Precisely. Your code stays right there on your machine. You have full control. And what's also really interesting, something that genuinely excites me, is its multimodal capability.
Multimodal? How so?
Code is fully multimodal. You can literally drag and drop images into it, give it file paths to images, even copy-paste screenshots directly into the conversation.
Seriously, so I could give it a picture of a UI.
Yep. Imagine giving it a UI mockup, just a screenshot or a Figma design, and telling it, build this website. It can actually do that.
Oh.
It can even iterate on that design, maybe use a tool like Puppeteer to simulate clicking around, and then refine the visual output based on the feedback you give it.
Okay, that gets really fascinating. It's not just code, it's visual understanding tied directly to the code execution. So with this agentic search and this multimodal stuff, what's the most surprising or maybe impactful thing I, as a developer, can actually do with it now? What are the practical applications that really make a difference day to day?
Well, Cal from Anthropic highlighted a few core use cases that really stand out. First, and maybe the most underrated one, is discovery and onboarding.
Ah, yeah. The pain of new code bases.
Exactly. If you're dropped into a new code base, new team, new company, maybe just a complex open source project, Claude Code can seriously supercharge that whole process. You can ask it things like, okay, where is this specific feature implemented? Or even, tell me the story of how this part of the code has changed over the past couple of weeks just by looking at the Git history.
That's cool.
Boris mentioned that at Anthropic, their own technical onboarding used to take like 2 to 3 weeks.
Sounds about right.
With Claude Code, he said it's now down to 2 or 3 days.
Days! That's incredible.
Imagine what that does for team velocity, getting new hires productive almost instantly.
Wow, okay. That's a direct, tangible impact I can definitely appreciate. I've spent days, weeks just trying to figure out a new module. That alone sounds like a dream. What else?
Next up, it's an excellent thought partner.
A thought partner. How does that work?
Instead of just jumping straight into writing code, which we often do.
Guilty.
Right. You can ask Claude Code to first just search around, maybe analyze different ways you could implement a feature, and then crucially, report back with like 2 or 3 different options. Don't start working yet. Don't write any files.
Planning first.
Exactly. This planning phase can save you a ton of time just making sure Claude's on the right track before it starts generating code. Helps you explore different architectural paths, maybe find a better solution without wasting cycles going down a dead end.
So it helps you brainstorm, helps you plan the approach, make sure you're building the right thing before you build the thing right. That's vital for complex stuff. And then, okay, there's the actual building and writing code itself. How does it hold up there?
It excels there too. Both for like 0 to 1 projects, starting with an empty directory and building a new app.
Right.
And maybe more importantly, working effectively inside existing, often kind of messy code bases.
The real world.
The real world, exactly. Anthropic apparently has abnormally high unit test coverage internally now.
Oh, really?
Because Claude Code makes it, quote, so easy and just straightforward to add unit tests. It just churns them out.
Nice.
You can also write your commit messages, your pull request summaries for you automatically, basically reviewing the changes it just helped you make.
Handy.
Beyond that, people are using it in deployments and CI/CD pipelines. It has an SDK, so you can sort of sprinkle in a coding agent anywhere, like inside GitHub Actions, maybe automating dependency updates or code analysis checks.
Okay, so automation beyond just my local machine.
Yeah. And finally, for support and scale, it can help you debug errors faster, maybe by parsing through logs intelligently. And Even tackle large code-base migrations, think going from old Java to newer versions, or maybe PHP to React. It can make those huge tasks much more digestible by automating a lot of the grunt work, the refactoring.
That's quite a range. Onboarding, debugging, big refactors. It really sounds like it touches almost every part of the development lifecycle.
It aims to, yeah.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's particularly good with those command line tools. Git, Docker, BigQuery. The idea you never have to worry about, how do I get myself out of this sticky rebase?
We've all been there.
Oh, yeah. That alone could save careers, or at least a lot of late nights trying to fix a gnarly Git merge. Okay, this all sounds incredibly powerful. But, with great power comes the need for guardrails, right? Best practices. It's a tool that can act autonomously. How do you actually get the most out of it without it, I don't know, running wild or getting totally lost in your project's complexities? How do you steer it?
That's a crucial point. Cal and Boris shared several key strategies for exactly that. The first, and maybe the most critical, is using these special files called claude.md files.
Claude.md. Okay, what are those?
They're basically just markdown files. If one exists in your current working directory when you start a session, Claude Code automatically reads it and plops it into context right at the beginning. Think of it like a shared memory or an instruction sheet for Claude Code for that specific project.
Ah, like project-specific instructions.
Exactly. It could contain things like, here's how to run the unit tests, or an overview of the project's directory layout where the important tests live, maybe even your team's coding style guide.
Okay.
You can check these into source control, share them with your team, or even have personal ones in your home directory for your own preferences. It gives Claude this persistent, project-specific understanding so you aren't repeating the basics every time.
So it's like giving Claude a constantly updated cheat sheet for this project. I can see teams using that to enforce standards or just document those weird legacy system quirks everyone forgets. Clever way to bake in some continuous learning for the AI. What about permissions, though? Making sure it doesn't accidentally, RM-RF.
Excellent point. Permission management is obviously vital. By default, any read actions like reading files are just allowed, no prompt. But actions that change things, writing files, running arbitrary bash commands, those trigger a UI prompt. You, the human, have to approve it.
Okay, a safety net.
Yes. However, you can enable an auto-accept mode by hitting Shift+Tab. Or you can configure specific trusted commands to always be approved automatically, just to speed things up if you're doing something repetitive. Finding that balance between safety and productivity, Boris said, was actually one of the hardest parts of implementing Claude Code, making it powerful but secure, ensuring it doesn't go rogue.
It makes perfect sense. You need that safety, especially when it can run commands. But does that approval step ever feel like it interrupts the flow for experienced users? Is the auto-accept good enough?
It seems like it's designed to be that balance. And related to flow, there's context management. AI models have a finite context window, right? Basically, how much information they can remember or process at once.
Right, like 200K tokens for Anthropic's models, which is big but not infinite.
Exactly. Even that can fill up in a long, complex session. So if you see the context getting full, you have two main commands. You can type call that clears everything except your claude.md file, giving you a fresh start but keeping the project context.
Okay, a reset.
Or you can type compact. This asks Claude to summarize the work done so far in the session. That summary then seeds the next part of the conversation, letting you continue efficiently without losing the overall thread of what you were doing. Keeps things focused.
That's smart, like a quick reset or a kind of smart handover to itself almost. Helps manage those long multi-step tasks without getting lost.
Precisely.
Any other advanced tips for power users, people really looking to push the boundaries with this?
Definitely. One big one is using efficient workflows that involve planning first. Like we discussed, ask it to search around, figure out what's causing the bug, and just tell me a plan for how we're going to fix it.
Verify the plan first.
Yes. Lets you verify its approach before it dives into coding. Saves potential rework. Also, this idea of smart vibe coding. Basically, integrate good practices like test-driven development with Claude, have it make small changes, then immediately run the tests, check the linting, maybe even make a small commit. That way, if it goes off track, it's easy to just revert back a step.
Like pairing with it, but enforcing good habits.
Exactly. Yeah. And for really advanced techniques, they mentioned people at Anthropic running multiple Claude Code instances simultaneously.
Multiple? Like 4 at once?
Yeah, apparently people run 4 at once, orchestrating them to work on different parts of a project in parallel.
Whoa, okay, that's next level.
And always remember, escape is your best friend. You can hit escape anytime to safely stop Claude, pause its execution, and interject your own guidance if you see it heading down the wrong path or getting stuck. You're still in control.
That's a lot to chew on, but yeah, it makes total sense that you'd need ways to guide and manage such a powerful autonomous tool. It's not just fire and forget. And you mentioned monitoring earlier.
Hmm.
How do you actually keep track of all this AI activity, especially in a bigger organization where maybe lots of developers are using it and you need visibility into costs, performance, what it's actually doing?
Right. This is where integrating with tools like LangSmith becomes really valuable.
Mm.
As they talked about on the LangChain YouTube channel, Claude Code is built to emit standard open telemetry events. LangSmith can then collect and display all of that. So you get this full, detailed log of everything that happens during a Claude Code session, deep observability into its operations, and essentially this thought process.
So it's not just doing the work, it's transparent about how it's doing it, giving you that audit trail. That seems fantastic for debugging when things inevitably go sideways, or just understanding why it chose a certain approach.
Exactly right. Setting up the tracing is pretty simple too. Just configuring a few environment variables, like setting Claude Code enable telemetry 1 and pointing it to your LangSmith endpoint with an API key.
Oh.
Once that's set up, you can see the individual actions Claude took, the questions you asked it, which models were used, token counts, latency, even the estimated costs for each request. You can literally watch this waterfall view of its operations, see it read a file, then generate a to-do list, then execute a command. It's a very granular view into its execution flow.
That's incredible for debugging, understanding performance, especially if something unexpected happens or you're trying to optimize how you use it. But are there any blind spots in that monitoring? Is there anything it doesn't show you?
Yeah, there's a key point from that LangChain discussion.
Mm-hmm.
While you see your prompts and the high-level actions it takes,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get access to the actual system prompts that Claude Code itself sends to Anthropic's underlying models. Nor do you see the raw model outputs directly from Anthropic's own internal telemetry.
Ah, okay. Some internal mechanics are still hidden.
Right. But you still get really crucial data, like the token counts and the costs. And importantly, each trace is tied to a specific session ID. So it gives you this comprehensive overview of usage, which is super useful for organizations trying to monitor overall API consumption, which, they noted, can easily match or exceed that of a production application in terms of cost and activity.
Helps manage budgets and resources.
Yeah, I can see that being critical for adoption at scale. This level of transparency and monitoring, even with those small caveats, really elevates Claude Code. It's not just a cool dev tool, it feels more like a serious enterprise-ready agent. It's just fascinating how much is going on beneath the surface with these deep agents to make them work so effectively while still trying to maintain security and control. So wrapping this up, what does all this really mean for you, the developer listening right now? Claude Code seems to represent a pretty significant leap in AI-assisted development. Really isn't just about coding faster, is it?
No, not just speed. It seems more about transforming your entire workflow from the moment you first look at a new project, right through to debugging those really tricky issues. It provides this intelligent, agentic partner that tries to work how you work.
Yeah, I think that's the key.
The main takeaway seems to be its adaptability. How it integrates with the tools you already use, how it explores code bases more like a human would, and how, with some of these best practices we talked about, you can unlock its potential to become way more productive.
And if we zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture, Claude Code really feels like it embodies where AI agents are heading. These aren't just systems reacting passively to simple prompts anymore. They're actively reasoning, planning, executing complex tasks across diverse environments like your familiar terminal.
Right.
Which I think raises a pretty important question for you listening. How might a tool like Claude Code change your relationship with your code base? And what completely new possibilities does it open up for what you can actually build or achieve as a developer?
Definitely something to mull over as you think about bringing your own Tony, your own expert co-pilot, to your next project. We really hope this deep dive into Claude Code has given you a clear, comprehensive understanding of this powerful new tool. Hit like and subscribe if you like the content. See you next time.